So for today, I wanted to show, well, I was working on some other stuff and I had remembered about this program. And I kind of wanted to show it off. So what it's called is Gramps. What Gramps is it's a genealogy program. You can manage your family trees in it and all that kind of cool stuff. So if you've already got like a web service that you're using to work with your family tree and so on, then this gives you a way to look at it kind of locally and manage it that way, and then you can export it and import it to your online service, or if you want to keep some of that stuff private, then you can have it locally that way as well. So, like I mentioned, the first thing you kind of want to do is export your family tree from whatever service you happen to be using. So, as far as I can tell, if you're using familysearch.org, I didn't really find a way to export the family tree. So you may end up having to use some of the other services that are out there, and it's likely that if you're doing this kind of stuff, you probably already have it set up. So you've got like a couple services. Ancestry lets you export it. Oh, I believe, which one was it? And I believe genealogy.net lets you export it, as lets you export your trees after they've been imported from like Family Search if you're using that, or if you're already using them or using another that lets you export your tree, then it makes it really simple. They might have instructions on how to do it. Usually it's in the tree view where it allows you to export that tree and all the information with it. Okay, so Gramps basically runs on a Python backend, and if you install OpenStreetMaps, then it'll look for that, and you can actually look at maps inside of Gramps as well, locations and all that, if that information is on the tree. So from a couple of those services, I've exported the trees. So depending on your settings on your export, your tree may show up like larger somewhat than others, and it actually gives you a list of like surnames, like the top surnames and then the percentage of them. So if I go into the charts here, you can see that I can move it around. Well, okay. You can see that it kind of shows a tree here, and I could go into many of the levels if I really wanted to. So it looks like, yeah, on this side, it's only like gone, what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's only like 4 levels deep it went. So I believe this was from Ancestry, where this one kind of pulled out. So if I go and I actually load up the other one, you can see that if I go in, I've actually got a bit more depth to it on this side. I can kind of go down, I can go back. The arrows are very simple to use. And what if it gets too big, you can see that it kind of lets me scroll a bit. Oh, we've got a number of other views too that we can look at. So if we actually look at the events, you can see that it's got a good, number of them. Let's see. So we've got the baptism, let's see, birth, of course. So it kind of lists everybody out in the tree. Burial, census, and it's even got christening. So it's got a lot of stuff. So if I go back into the charts, this is, okay. I look at, where was it? So yeah, you can see it. Right click menu shows a lot of info. So if I go to edit, you can see that I've got a number of events on the individual right here. Got different names, and then this, it's got a whole bunch of stuff that it looks at. And I believe this was the GeniaNet export. Otherwise, it was MyHeritage. So you've got all kinds of stuff. And of course, because it's genealogy software, it's got support for the LDS entries. So if I wanted to add an entry for this one, you can see that it's got the various ordinances in there. And then it's also got the temple listing where that ordinance happened. And then it's got other things with it too. Associations, so can add a bunch of associations to other people, maybe, you know, that kind of thing. Let's see. Can add an event if we really wanted to. So yeah, it's got a whole bunch of features in it. And like I said, if you wanted to, you can export it. So you can choose the GEDCOM format, which is kind of the general one that most people use. Gramps has its own special XML format, and it does have a few other formats that you can use with it as well. Most things are basically going to support GEDCOM. It's the pretty standard one developed by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for pretty obvious reasons with all the genealogical stuff that we do. And so you can kind of export it that way and then import it back into your online service. So we can actually change the chart here and what it looks like. Let's see, can I center back on? Can I go back? Can I select a different person, people? Let's see, where was it? Okay, so if I open up the fan view like this, you can see one side's kind of slanted. The other side doesn't have as much data on it, sadly. But you can see the, let's see, that is the fan chart. So it would show up on the other side over here. Let's see, which one is that? Descendant fan. Oh, so if I go back in, it'll show descendants from an individual person, so all their children and everything. And then finally, this is the two-way fan. So it kind of splits it off. Oh, so it'll split off and show the children as well. So if I had any children in here, it would show that. So if I go and, come on. Let me go back into people. And we will show, where is it? I don't think I need to double click it, but yeah, you can see that it shows, you know, down the line that way. And so got your citations, everything else, so you can kind of roll through and see what everything looks like. It's got links to various media, so if the site supports exporting all of the images and everything that are in it, then you can actually look at it in here if it'll load up the thing, but it looks like it won't. You've got various notes on things as well if people have extra comments and things. It's got a whole lot. So again, this is the dashboard. This is what it's going to show up initially. Um, the Gramps does have is built for various architectures, so if you're on an ARM system, you can run it on there. So yes, you can run it on your Pine phone and install it there. I wouldn't recommend it right now. It's not really meant for mobile use, and it doesn't work really well on this. Oh, the phone screen itself. If you're going to use it in convergence mode, then go ahead, have fun. But that's the only way I would recommend it, is if you've got an external monitor that you're using with it. But other than that, it's pretty full featured. I believe it should allow you to actually import, path stuff. So like personal ancestry file. If you're still using that program, you should be able to export and import from there as well. And it still gets updated and everything else. So anything that anything supports, it should have new support for the new cool things as those come out. But yeah, that's kind of Gramps genealogy software. Yeah. If you like what I do, anything else that way, you can check out the links down in the description and everything else. Scream at me why you hate something or whatever else on Discord or any other chat that way, and I will see you guys in the next one.